back to Clips and Tips, a series presented during Bike Month by McLeish Orlando and Bike Law Canada. Today's topic is taking the lane. For those that have not heard that term, it simply means where instead of riding to the right side of a laneway, a cyclist takes a lane and moves to the middle portion or another portion of the lane and takes the lane. There has been a lot of discussion over time whether a cyclist can or cannot take the lane, and under the law, it kind of depends on the situation. So let me start by firstly saying a bicycle, as we know, under the Highway Traffic Act, there's a section 1, that defines vehicle, and it defines a bicycle as a vehicle. Therefore, certain aspects of the Highway Traffic Act apply. When we talk about vehicles under the Highway Traffic Act, there's a section 147 that you can see, and it says that any vehicle traveling upon a roadway at less than the normal speed of traffic at that time and place shall, and here are the key words, where practicable, be driven in the right lane and then available for traffic or as close as practicable to the right-hand curb or edge of the roadway. And again, it's back to that word. Practicable is the key word of that definition. And the reason being is, for the most part, a cyclist will ride approximately 1 meter from the right curb, and they will continue in that lane accordingly. However, if they feel that it's unsafe to do so, and it's not practicable to do so, then of course they can move over into the other portion of the lane and take the lane. So when can that happen? Well, you can get situations where the lane is just simply too narrow. It's already, let's say, less than 14 feet. It's so narrow that a car simply can't pass you safely using the 1 meter line. Therefore, you can take the lane because it's not practicable for that vehicle to pass you safely, and you can ride in the middle of the lane. Secondly, you could have parked cars to the right, obviously creating a dooring situation, or what we call the door zone, pushing you further over. And if, again, in those circumstances, if cars cannot pass you safely, giving you at least 1 meter, then you can take the lane. So you can move over into the lane during door zones. You can get into other situations as well where, unfortunately, our roads aren't always kept up to the top way we'd like them to. So you got potholes that face cyclists. You've got gravel on the right side of the road during certain portions of the year. You've got construction. You can find yourself in areas where riding to the right is unsafe, and you feel that it's practicable and more safe to move to the middle of the lane. And again, that is something that you can do. It's legal under the Highway Traffic Act. There are other situations as well. I think you get into construction zones. You can get into other areas as well. There might be times where you're going to initiate a left turn and have to position yourself again in order to get yourself ready for the left turn. So those are some circumstances where you might want to take the lane. They're not everything. Again, it gets back into the words that I've described. Streetcar tracks, again, can cause problems if it's practical to take the lane because of the streetcar and parking and the door zones, and by all means do so. So if you do take the lane, though, you should consider this. Signal your intention. Make sure that any vehicles behind you certainly know that your intention is to move over into that lane. Try to maintain as best you can the speed of traffic. Obey the rules. You are a vehicle. The Highway Traffic Act applies. There are rules of the road that apply to you, so obviously do that. And then when you feel that it's safe to do so, then obviously move back into the right side of the road, approximately 1 meter if possible, where you feel that it's safe to do so. So that's taking the lane. I'm not going to say whether or not you should or shouldn't take the lane, or what the safest practice is when cycling on taking the lane. I'll leave that to Can Bike. There's other sites. There's a really, really good blog by Herb and Bike Toronto, which we'll give you the link to that you can read. And it gives you more guidance as to when you may feel like, for you, taking the lane suits. So I'll leave it to that, but I just wanted to share the law. So if you're getting that horn or that honk or the swearing from the driver, that you shouldn't be in that lane. In all likelihood, they're not right, they're wrong. It's perfectly legal for you to do so, provided you feel that it's a safe thing that you need to do in order to travel where you want to get to. I hope that helps, and any questions, let me know. Thanks. Take care.